Mr. Beast, the largest YouTuber in the nation right now, gives away millions and millions of dollars every year. That has to create some complex tax issues. So we're going to take a look at an interview that he's done recently with H3H3 talking about his taxes.
Because you give away so much money. Yeah. I hope that that's all deductible.
I do too. If it's not, which
that is brutal.
If it's not, I might have a GoFundMe coming up, but we'll see, because this year's taxes are coming up, and that's when it's gonna. I mean, like millions of
You're
dollars.
about to find out.
I'm gonna be,
how bad you got it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have it all documented. We have receipts and stuff, but it's like the hard part is like when I give my boys $100,000 to spend.
So Mr. Beast started off by saying he's going to find out how much he owes, or have an idea of how much he owes when he gets with his tax repair. That's concerning to me. And the reason it's concerning is he's self-employed. If you're self-employed, that means you have to make estimated tax payments. So the fact that he's talking about a tax period or a tax year that's either done or almost done and doesn't have any idea how much he owes, there should be a quarterly analysis on that, and he should be making quarterly estimated payments. It doesn't seem like in that interview that he's made any. And so that's concerning, and that's what gets a lot of people in trouble, is not making their estimated tax payments on a quarterly basis. And then they get a huge tax bill at the end of the year that they can't pay. The second thing that he's discussing there is talking about paying, and he said, quote unquote, my boys. And, he alludes to the fact that, they can't pay their taxes with the money that he gives them. Well, number one, I hope he's not giving them money, because then he's going to incur gift tax himself personally. So if he's actually paying them that money, he can say he's giving it to them. But I assure you, his tax professional is going to say that's money that he's paying to them. And they absolutely are going to have to pay taxes on it. It's funny that he says they don't have the money to pay the tax. Yeah, I give them $100,000. They don't have the money to pay taxes on it. Well, when you give them the $100,000, they have $100,000. And let's hypothetically say they're at a 30% tax bracket, well, that's $30,000. That would leave them with 70, and they don't have a tax issue. Now, if you spend the whole 100 and don't pay in any income tax, estimated tax payments, or paying the tax at the end of the year, and you don't have the ability to pay, then of course you are going to have a tax problem. So let's listen in here and see how they approach this.
The money, so it's rough.
If I was your accountant and I'm not at all
they all tell me
qualified,
just to throw the taxes on my boys, but like that's kind of shitty.
They tell you don't. They tell you what?
Like someone has to pay taxes if they give away money. Either
if you say, and you're in the video, you're like, here's $40,000. Someone has to pay taxes on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Either me or them for the most part. So I don't know how that's.
Okay, let's stop right there. Now, number one, Mr. Beast is saying either they have to pay the taxes or I have to pay the taxes. I would typically say that's not a choice. You don't have a choice on who pays taxes on that. However, if he did decide, well, I'll just pay the taxes on it, it would be a gift tax back to him personally, which is at a much higher rate than it is at the personal income tax level. Technically, he kind of has a choice, but it's between two different types of tax. And I don't think that's what he's talking about here. It's not a choice that you get to make.
I think that always is.
Fuck.
Yeah. So it's like, it's getting,
people don't think about that.
Yeah, I know.
People need to know about that.
Well, we're going to find out when this tax season happens.
I want to find that. Mr. Beast.
Is this going to be your craziest, tax?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, last year was stupid, the amount of money we spent. I mean, some months, $500,000 on videos. So it's going to be dumb. Mm-hmm. I don't know how it's going to go. I wasn't really... So, game shows, if you win a car, I didn't know this, but apparently right after the game show, they have you sign a document where you say, you're going to pay the $8,000 tax on it, or you forfeit the prize.
Exactly.
You don't even get it at all.
Yeah.
They don't even give it to you to sell.
For real?
Yeah, you either pay taxes or not. Because I talked to someone who was on a game show, and he won a prize and didn't even get to keep it.
Real quick, what Mr. Beast is alluding to there, if you do win something, at a game show, at a casino, over a certain amount, you do have to sign a tax form with that organization. And by law, they have to turn that in, saying that this was paid out to this person. No different than you getting a W-2 or a 1099 at the end of the year, and your employer verifying that we paid this person X amount of dollars. And he's exactly right. If they don't agree to pay it, then they cannot give them that gift. Now, I know it creates a very difficult situation for a lot of people. We've seen it in our office a number of times, where they get a tangible asset as opposed to cash. Let's hypothetically say you get a car worth $50,000. You're going to have to pay taxes on that, and you don't have the money, the cash to pay on a $50,000 asset, you have to either sell it and utilize that money, pay the taxes, and keep the remaining portion of it. Or in this case, maybe some instances where they just refuse to take it at all, just so they're not saddled with the tax liability.
He won a prize and didn't even get to keep it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I
'Cause he
always
didn't wanna
wondered
pay
that about
taxes.
Price is Right.
Yeah,
Where they're like, you win $100,000 vacation.
Well,
You're like, yeah.
exactly. It's more like
And they're
a
like,
vacation.
you owe us $50,000.
Yeah. So I think that's why they do vacations, because you can't liquidate it. So then most people don't even take the prize. So it's
Are
like-
you fucking my ass?
All right. I don't know if most people don't, but
That's
like they have to. Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So that's where it makes things a little weird on me, because like, if I make them pay taxes on stuff, then I look like a piece of shit. But if I pay taxes on it on something that's already not really
Well,
profitable.
hold on. I don't think so.
Okay, real quick. He says he looks bad if he makes his employees pay their own taxes. And this is obviously somebody that hasn't been in business for a very long time. I have 120 employees, and I assure you, I'm not paying all their taxes for them. I feel like this is somebody that's new into business, and obviously he's had a tremendous amount of success. But yes, his tax advisor is probably needing to educate him quite a bit on how this whole system works, so that he's operating the way that he needs to on a daily basis, and obviously knows exactly, or at least an idea of how the tax situation works. Otherwise, he'd get himself in a lot of trouble, paying too much money out, not doing it the right way, and not knowing what his tax situation is until after the year, circling back to that. So,
Because it's really, when we're talking about your staffers.
Yeah. Okay. Well, besides them.
So your staffers should pay tax, because for them it's like a bonus.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, if we're talking about like, here you go up to a waitress and you give her $30,000,
then, like that one, they would pay taxes. It's a little more messy when I give someone a car.
Well, I guess
though.
they have to claim that.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
waitress.
That one's an easy
Right.
one.
Yeah.
It's more like literally like I gave like
A
6
car.
cars. And so like who pays taxes on these like 40, 30, 20
I wonder if there's not room for an argument that it's just a tax deduction for you, because it's part of your.
We'll see.
It's kind of like
An expense.
it's an expense
is
of
an
doing business.
But I'm pretty sure someone has. I didn't
You need
know
a-
all this.
this is honestly probably my favorite topic on this video. And it really speaks to, so what he's alluding to there is that he gives away, whether it's cars, cash, he gives away things of value. And that's what has created his YouTube presence, it seems like. If he walked into an average CPA or accounting firm, and based upon what he just said there, just giving things away, the safe harbor way to analyze that is, let's determine that it's a gift. Okay. You know why? Because that's what the IRS wants you to do. Why does the IRS want you to do that? Because you're going to have a limitation on that gift that's going to be significantly less than if you took it as an expense. By contrast, if you go to my office or a tax lawyer or somebody that's going to be more aggressive, we're handling audits every single day. And so we know the process that happens during an audit. And I would be much more aggressive in the stance, and I'm assuming that's what his tax professional is going to do. I'm going to say that is an expense for the generation of income, necessary for the generation of income. And I would be 100% confident in making that argument in any audit or in any tax court, because I feel like I could strongly make a connection. If not for creating that expense or making that donation, he doesn't attract the followers that he has, and the followers are what he generates revenue from. So I think this is a situation where he definitely needs to have an aggressive tax preparer that's willing to, jump inside that gray area and be aggressive for him and make a determination that that's an expense and not a gift.
I hope you have a slick accountant. Dude.
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
I hope you have a slick Jewish accountant with a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah. Well,
Do you?
I don't. I need to
fucked.
switch them up.
You're
yeah.
fucked. I just signed over to a slick Jewish accountant with a Brooklyn
Yeah.
accent.
Did he help you
Well,
save
he's
money when you gave
actually
away?
from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need one of those. I think I have one of those.
He-
I don't deal with any of that.
I have
We don't know
I have
yet,
a
but
friend
that's
in-
the hope.
Well, yeah, this year he's going to save us a lot in taxes. I have a friend in show business who's pretty big in show business who recommended him.
Okay, real quick. It humors me a little bit that Mr. Beast is so flippant about this. Again, to me, that speaks to somebody that has just started getting into business and potentially making a lot of money. I feel like if this interview happens in about a year from now, he's going to be much more educated on all these tax issues. Like, oh, well, it's kind of this and it's kind of that. I think after he sits down and he gets this tax bill that he's getting ready to get, it sounds like he's had a tremendous amount of success in the last year. It's going to be way larger than what he anticipated. And all of a sudden, he's going to be on the search for who the best tax person in his area is. Because I assure you, he's being very loose about a lot of very serious issues, and it could come back to bite him. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes from here.
To me, and I get on the phone. His name's like Harvey, and he sounds like straight out of the fucking corner deli in Brooklyn, dude. Just like that deep Jewish accent.
Yeah.
And I was like, "How old are you, dude?" Because he sounded like an old Jewish man, and he's like, "I'm 40." I was like, bro, you have the cadence of an old Jewish man, and you have my business. Yeah.
All right. I mean, yeah.
That's an anecdote. That I can help you.
Gotcha.
You can help me. I can.
Long story short, you can help me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of taxes, I was talking.
Just real quick comment. Don't put your financial life in the hands of an accent. Just saying. Do a little more research in that.
Talking to someone, I won't name them, but like Trump passed the new tax bill where was
199A.
Yeah, and he was supposed to make it where lower income people pay less and higher people pay whatever. Make companies pay less or whatever, something like that. But I was talking to one of my friends, and it's funny because he ended up paying over $500,000 less than he would have before that tax bill, and his employees actually ended up paying 5% more in taxes. But Trump pitched it like it was the opposite.
Mm-hmm. So I've been obsessively learning about that. It's so
it's kind of fucked.
So the 199A is the new deduction, and it's a 20% corporate tax deduction.
Yeah.
So first of all, what they also did to pay for that is remove the state income tax. So there's certain states, mostly liberal states, that have a high personal income tax to the state. California and New York specifically. Yeah. I don't know what it's like in North Carolina.
I think ours is 5%.
So in California and 5% there, that was a huge, huge deduction that would come deducted from your federal taxes. Mm-hmm. So in states like that, your taxes for a lot of people are actually going to be going up. And they also capped personal expense to $10,000 too. So a lot of people,
for non-corporations?
Yeah, for your personal deductions. So a lot of people in blue states are going to have their taxes increased.
Damn.
And they also he did us dirty, dude. Entertainers, people who derive their money.
I'm learning stuff. Yeah.
People who derive their income from performance.
Yeah.
Where it's a personality based company cannot take the deduction.
That $10,000?
Straight up,
No,
the
the
20%
deduction.
You cannot take it.
Entertainers can't?
Entertainers cannot take it. And then not only entertainers, like lawyers and accountants and shit like that, professionals, but he specifically went after
businesses.
He went after entertainers specifically. It's like a little revenge play.
Well, see, now we're getting out of my realm of knowledge. I don't know anything.
Yeah. No.
I just know funny stories where my friends who were supposed to pay less and people that were supposed to be helped pay more. And
Okay, Mr. Beast makes a great point there, probably unknowingly, but it's one thing I say to my clients all the time. He's obviously incredibly talented at what he does. And I always tell my clients, you need to be concerned with what you're good at. And let me be good at what I'm good at. So if Mr. Beast is our client or my client, I'm going to do everything I can to take everything off of him tax-wise, where he doesn't even have to be concerned about it. You just do exactly what I tell you to do. And then you use the other 99% of your time concentrating on what you do best, and that's running your business. Obviously, in his case, it's running his YouTube business, which he's done incredibly successful. And the value of his time is much higher doing that than it is being spent with complicated tax issues that he doesn't know anything about. So, the goal for him should be, and his tax professional is, he should just do exactly what his tax professional says on whether that's a monthly or quarterly basis, and then just do what he does best the other 99% of the time. So just going to make that point real quick.
I'm not a political person. I know nothing about politics, but when they just blatantly lie and, it's kind of wow,
Well, dude, it's so fucked up. when that happened, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get all this money off taxes. And then our accountants are like, no, you're gonna pay more this
Actually
year.
gonna go up.
Oh, yours, sir?
Like, what the fuck? Yeah, because
I should just like literally text
You
my
should-
guy to like.
yeah, you
I
should
need
ask.
an educational course.
because taxes are due soon. You should find out what he's doing.
Yeah. All right. I'll just take care of
Yeah,
that.
you're like shit.
We have like a month to
Yeah.
finalize that.
Well, I just
it's not easy.
if I didn't plan properly. Oh, I thought that was the guy out there. That's a little soundboard.
It's a Lance Stewart.
Welcome to Papa's house.
That was a good one to push.
Yeah, but if I didn't prepare properly, you're just gonna see my videos go from $100,000 a video down to like 5.
Yeah. Today we're gonna be giving out packs of gum.
Yep. No, seriously. So that might happen. We'll see.
No, I
You
don't.
know.
I don't think you're a big spender. I'm sure you're.
Well,
What? Big
videos.
spender? I am. I'm a
well,
huge spender.
not on yourself.
Yeah.
but on
I mean, but it's
videos.
all business. You're spending money on your business.
But you gotta make sure
Someone has to
you
pay
can
taxes.
deduct it,
Either me or the people.
But I'm just saying it should be deductible because it's a business expense. You got to get a slick Jewish accountant to make sure it's categorized as a business
Yeah.
expense.
Can you go to the Supreme Court and tell them that?
It's not a Supreme Court issue. It's a
I think Ethan makes a great point there. Is what I was talking about earlier. I mean, he's exactly right. He needs to get an aggressive tax preparer, CPA, tax lawyer, whatever the case may be, that is going to make sure that it is determined that everything he's given away is an expense for the generation of income. I keep coming back to that because it is huge for his tax liability. When you're talking about hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars, those are big deductions. And if you don't get them, you have to pay taxes on them. And that's terrible because hypothetically, let's say you gave away $1 million and it's not determined to be an expense and it's limited to being a gift. It's going to be just a fraction of that $1 million. Well, you gave the $1 million away, which means you don't have any of that $1 million left. And then you have to pay taxes on it. That's money you already gave away. So if you gave away $1 million, if you had $1 million and that's all you had, and you gave it all away, now you have $0. How do you pay taxes on that $1 million? So you need to get the $1 million, pay the taxes on that $1 million, and then it's considered to be, taxable income. So he's got to be really careful on how he makes that determination, because if he can consider that to be an expense, he's going to get 100% deduction. If he doesn't, it's going to create a huge tax problem and could potentially ruin his whole business. How many times have we seen that at our office? Countless number of times. So he's got to be real careful, and he needs to make sure he gets the right person.
good faith argument based on, because we're in a new vertical in terms of business. Traditional, we don't really fit the traditional mold of how people spend money on entertainment. Like what you're doing is a legitimate business. If you're not giving out $100,000, people aren't watching your videos.
Yeah.
So I see that, and I think it's a good faith, legitimate argument to make to the IRS that, hey, this is all deductible expenses because this is what you do.
Yeah. I guess.
Do you want me to be your accountant?
Yeah. You want to just do everything for me?
Ethan is the last person I want to be my accountant, but he's making a great point right here and really alluding to the argument that I would make on Mr. Beath's behalf of, allowing this expense. The other thing that Ethan said that I completely agree with him on is he's like, this is a new vertical. He's exactly right. All tax laws that are currently existing are based upon things that have happened in the past. With social media exploding the way that it is, the things that have happened with remote employees due to COVID and so many other things. There's so many new verticals in the business world that it's going to take a minute for the tax crowd, the IRS, the auditors to catch up with it. And honestly, it gives us a great opportunity to make very valid and solid arguments in areas that previously we weren't able to do it because of all the new types of businesses and new arenas that are currently being created. So, like I said, Ethan would probably be one of the last persons I would want to sit down and have an in-depth tax conversation with. But the reality of it is he's nailed a couple of big topics here, whether he meant to or not.